Welcome back to my channel. My name's Melanie Ferguson and you are watching Southern Crush at Home. If you are new here, I would super love it if you would subscribe to my channel as well as hit that notification bell so that you can get notified every time I put out a new video. Today's video is all about a curly Q bow. I'm absolutely obsessed with this bow. I cannot tell you how super fun it is to make. This is what it's gonna look like, and this is what we're going to use. It's called Grosgrain Ribbon, and you can get this at the Dollar Tree. So sit back, relax, and enjoy the video. Okay, this is the most fun bow to make. You're gonna need some grosgrain ribbon. I got mine from the Dollar Tree. And then you're gonna need some of these wooden dowels, which I also got at the Dollar Tree, along with these wooden clothespins. You can use any clothespins, just something to be able to clip your ribbon onto the dowels. So I'm just taking one end of the grosgrain ribbon and clipping it with my clothespin there at the end, and then slowly turning it in a circle, obviously, to twist it on there, making it kind of like a little candy cane spiral, obviously, shape onto my dowel. Now, you want to decide ahead of time what length you want your ribbon. I wasn't sure, so I went ahead and used the entire length of the dowel. But if you want a shorter Korker bow, then you would just only make it go halfway or however long you want your bow. And then you're going to clip the second end with a clothespin, and I just used opposite sides and placed them on a foil lined baker's pan. This is because we are going to bake these ribbons on the dowels after we have them all put together. Now, I went ahead and just cut it at an angle. You can cut it however you want, but a lot of times that little clothespin will create a bit of a kink in the ribbon. But once you have the number of ribbons that you want, you can put them in the oven. You're going to bake them at 250 for 20 minutes. Set it, forget it, leave it there on that warm temperature. I just put them in this little toaster convection oven. You can use a regular size oven, but you don't need to keep an eye on them or anything. You're gonna let them cool completely once they come out, and this is what you'll have left. You're going to slowly start, oh, well, you know what? Let me back up. I forgot that I decided to experiment with these and add a little bit of this gold Gilders Paste Wax, and I'll link that here below in the video. But you can take this opportunity while they're still on your dowel to add any type of embellishment that you want. Maybe you want to glue sequins onto the ribbon, or maybe you want to create like maybe polka dots with a chalk pen. Or like this, maybe you want to just add a little touch of gold to your ribbon based on the color. Now, I decided ultimately I didn't love the look of the wax, so I decided to put it away and just keep it on the couple of pieces that I had started it with. Now, this is the actual super fun part. There's so many ways that you can remove these. I started with just unraveling them, and then it seemed like it was making them a little bit loose. So I stopped doing that, and I started just kind of experimenting with different techniques of removing the ribbon. They're so much fun. You should totally do these with kids or grandkids because they would have a blast. This one, I decided to just start pulling from one end and the other, just in one fell swoop. They're a little bit, they're not very sticky on the dowel, but they are kind of, there's spots on it that are a little bit sticky on there, and that's why I decided just to twist them around a little bit just to kind of get them started. And then I went back to removing them in one fell swoop. It keeps the curl pretty tight when you do it that way, where you just kind of loosen it. Decided that was the final decision on the technique, was to just twist it a little bit and then pull it all off in one spiral noodle. They look like spiral noodles, don't they? so much fun. Once I did them all, I was wanting to do more. Now, of course, you can use multiple colors of ribbons. That makes for a really, really cute bow, and you can use patterned ribbon, whatever you desire. Just the fact that they're grosgrain is what really helps them to turn out the best. Now, I decided to take a black zip tie to match my bow and thread it through the bottom. I kind of pulled my ribbons separate to where they were, uneven, as you could see on the sides, and then I zip tied it in the middle, just kind of eyeballed the middle there, and that is what I was left with. Such a pretty bow. Absolutely love it. So I call it a curlicue bow, but you guys, it's really called a Korker bow. It's as old as the days are long, but fairly new to me. So I decided to play around with this pumpkin. I made this pumpkin last week on the YouTube video that I shared last week, and it was too long, okay? So I decided to zip tie it again in the middle of where I was, remove the other zip tie, and again, you have to play around with the lengths and deciding how long you want your Korker bow. And then I just went ahead and cut right there in the middle all those pieces, and it turned out perfectly as a much shorter bow. And then I played around with it on this pumpkin. I was fairly certain I was going to use it on this pumpkin, and then at the last minute I was like, oh my goodness, this pumpkin is a votive candle holder. I don't really think that I want to have a bow on top of a lit candle. So I ultimately, even though I'm sitting here, I'm assembling an extra zip tie just to secure it to the top of this pumpkin. Ultimately, I thought it would be too much of a fire hazard if we lit the candle. So if this was never going to be lit, I think it's kind of cute for any pumpkins for fall, just to kind of add to the top of a pumpkin. What do you think? So this is the pumpkin without the bow. I will link this video below in case you missed it, but I did make over these thrift store items last week, and the pumpkin was one of them. But ultimately, I decided to use the bow on this thrifted picture frame that we picked up from the thrift store last week. Absolutely love the way that it looks kind of just hot glued up there in the corner. It's actually covering a little fleur-de-lis that I didn't think really went with my decor, but I love it. What do you think? What did you think? Do you not love the Korker bow? These are so fun to make and have so many uses. I've seen them on little girl hair bows, on gift packages, gift bags. The sky is the limit with what you can make with these. I'm actually going to make a few for Christmas. You just want to make sure that you have that grosgrain ribbon there that you use. And speaking of ribbons and bows, listen, if you have not seen my video with this DIY bow maker, I'm going to put the link to the playlist below for all of my bows, and it is on there. This thing went viral when I posted it, you guys. It is the easiest $2 bow maker you will ever have. And then this is the cute bows you could make with it. Isn't this bow adorable? Can't you just see this being used all over the house for the holidays? Anyway, I'm going to link the playlist to all of my bows here, and I hope that you'll take a second to check it out. Until next time, my friend, stay creative.